What's up, guys? Welcome to the Dad Diary. I know before I go any further, I have to own up to the fact that it has been a very long time since I've posted any sort of update on here for you guys. And the reality is that there is a very good reason for that. I had a very specific outline for how I saw this vlog series going, at least the first chapter of it. You know, the producer and me had 10 episodes outlined. I had a full corkboard outlining 10 episodes that I was going to do for you guys on here. Recorded a bunch of video when we did the gender reveal, which, spoiler alert, we're having a girl. I captured video when we had our first over the belly ultrasound and we got to see our baby move for the first time. But some things happened that were very unexpected and caught my wife and I off guard, which has, led to me taking a sabbatical on here. But I know that there are so many of you who are invested in myself, invested in my wife, invested in our journey, and I owe it to you to talk to you and let you know what's going on. The reality is there's a lot of details I'm still not going to be able to share just because I simply don't know them yet. But I'll give you the long and short of it. At our 20-week ultrasound, which happened around actually our 22nd week, or my wife's 22nd week of pregnancy, our baby's orientation was such that they weren't able to get some images that they needed to get of her heart and of one of her arms. So the tech told us that we should expect a call from the radiology department, and they would set up a follow-up appointment for us to come back to do another ultrasound. Well, we got a call from Kaiser, where we have our insurance, and rather than it being a radiologist or the radiology department calling us, it was a genetic counselor informing us that there were some concerns about the images that came back from the radiology department. Mainly, they were concerned about our baby's right forearm. So this was on, I believe, a Wednesday or a Thursday, and my wife and I were leaving for vacation, our baby moon, that Sunday. So fortunately, they were able to see us on Friday before we left, and we sat, and had basically a 2.5, 3-hour ultrasound with a perinatologist who took a lot of images and video of our baby to see whether or not their concerns were valid. And if their concerns were valid, there was a bunch of other imagery that she had to capture as well. And basically, what ended up happening, and I may go into greater detail on this later, but they revealed that our baby's radius or radial bone in her right forearm just never grew. And as a result, she was not going to have a right hand, and they weren't positive about any sort of digits or how, even actually I should say at that time, they were only able to confirm that there was one bone in her forearm, and they didn't even know which bone it was. It came out in a later ultrasound, because we've had many since then, obviously, that it is her radial bone. So anyway, that was shocking, obviously, and in terms of this series, it wasn't what I thought I was setting out to do. I thought I was telling a story about fertility issues, using fertility services, and becoming a dad for the first time, which is still very valid. But now, obviously, with what we found out in that ultrasound at the week 20, week 22 mark, it sort of changed everything for us. And since then, we've gone to see this specialist basically every month on top of our normal appointments with the nurse practitioner. And through those appointments, they've been able to confirm, as far as we know, that everything, not everything, a lot of things that very frequently are sort of co-diagnosed with limb abnormalities are not there. At least this was our understanding until a couple days ago. At this appointment with the pediatric orthopedist, a lot of new things were brought up that had never been brought up to us before, to the point that we're concerned that we may not know everything about our baby. And the reality is that when there is this diagnosis of a limb abnormality, there are a certain amount of things that you just won't know until the baby is here, because when there are limb deficiencies, limb abnormalities, whatever you want to call it, in our case, they've diagnosed it as a radial ray defect. A lot of times when there are these limb deficiencies, there are other issues as well. It can be anything from congenital heart disease to issues with the spine, the vertebrae, to soft tissue, esophageal, tracheal, livers, kidneys. Basically, a lot of things can also be part of the diagnosis. And up until this point, my wife and I were under the impression that everything else they could see on the ultrasound was just fine, because that's what we've been told by our specialist, which may still be true. However, yesterday at this appointment with the orthopedist, I don't know, it was confusing because she was saying a lot of things that weren't a part of the diagnosis. She was talking about our baby having a hand, but we've been told that our baby doesn't have a hand or fingers. So basically my wife and I are very confused right now. We know for sure that our baby has been diagnosed with a radial ray defect. Beyond that, there's a lot of confusion going on right now. But I felt it necessary to inform you guys why I've been absent here. I felt it, one, I have to say, if you know me, you know that I am a very detail-oriented person, and I don't like to speak until I have all of the information that I can possibly have, because I know that when you share information like this publicly, there's going to be a lot of questions, and I wanted to be able to answer those questions. And the reality is right now is that we're in a position where we can't, but I want you guys to know what's going on. We're having a lot of baby showers right now, so there are some people in our family and some of our friends who know what's going on, and I know it's been challenging for them to not know who they can talk to about what, because there's certain people that know and certain people that don't, and that's not a result of us not wanting to inform the people that love us and that we love what's going on in our lives. The reality is that there's just been a lot that we still don't know. But I do want to let you guys know that we are in a good, we were in a better mental and emotional space up until yesterday. When they told us the diagnosis about 3 months ago, I had this sort of odd peace, like my daughter became so real to me in that moment. And I was like, that's my daughter, that's her story. And I'm sure for every parent's different, when their child feels real and tangible to them. Sometimes it's the first time you hear their heartbeat, or the first time you see them move, or the first time you hold them, or whatever it may be. For me, it was that moment. I was like, that is my daughter. And you could have told me that she had 7 arms, it would have not changed the way I feel about it. In fact, it's the craziest thing. I felt like so much more connected to her and so much more in love with her in that moment. But yesterday, when all this new information was sort of brought to our attention, whether or not it's legitimate or not, I don't know. So obviously I will try to update you guys as much as possible, but I wanted you to know where we're at, why we've been a little quiet in the public realm, but I want you to know that we are in good spirits, and we are so ready to meet this little girl. And no matter if it's simply a radial ray defect and an anomaly, and she has no other syndromes, or if she does, it doesn't change anything about the way that we feel about her, about the home filled with love and encouragement and support that she will be raised in. She's going to be raised to be a strong, independent, confident individual, and I'm committed to being there for her. I'm committed to encouraging her. I am committed to allowing her to figure out her way through this world, and for her to decide if and when she wants to make the decision to utilize prosthetics or whatever else she may want to use it at some point in her life. But she will learn, and she will be strong, and she will be confident. So when she steps out into this world and people ask her what's going on, that she will have an answer, and that she will be confident in the way that she is made. And I consider it a great honor, a great responsibility, not to just be the father of a daughter, but to be there for this little girl in particular. I know that we were chosen for her, and that is not something that I take lightly. I have a lot of thoughts on a lot of things, obviously, but really the reason I wanted to get on here today was just to update you guys on what's going on. What we know right now is that she has a defect in her right forearm. Anything other than that, we don't really know. She won't have a right hand. We don't know how long her arm will be. We know it will be significantly shorter than her left arm. We don't know what it will look like. We don't know how much use she will have of it. We don't know if there will be any other syndromes tied to it. But we do know that we love her, and we know that she's ours, and we are so ready to meet her. So I want to say thank you to everyone that has known about this, that has encouraged us and supported us, and for all those of you who are finding out for the first time. I know it's going to be your instinct and your desire to ask questions, and I appreciate that. I may not be able to get back to them simply because, one, we've got a lot going on. We just moved into a new place, but also I may not have the answer. And I'll do my best to let you know whether or not I do. But really what we need right now is just your support, your love, your continued prayers, energy, vibes, whatever you're into. We welcome all of that, and we encourage it. We're so thankful for each and every one of you who love us and support us, and we're just so grateful to know that we have this incredible support system out there, who not only loves us but is ready to love this little girl. I have no doubt that she is going to have an impact on this world and do incredible things, and I will be there to cheer her on and root for her and celebrate every victory and encourage her through every challenge. Again, thank you, and I apologize that it's taken me so long to let you guys know what's going on, but as I'm sure you can understand, it's been a lot. I've just been trying to find my truth in all of it, and really just wanted to make sure that I was informed as I possibly could be before I talked to all of you. Anyway, thank you. Love you. I will continue to update you as we move forward. We're about a month out from the baby being here, so if there's another lull in videos coming from me, you know why. But I will do my best to let you guys know what's going on. As always, thank you. Love you guys. You know how we do it every week on the Dad Diary, with peace and love.